What kind of fucking person are you? You fucking low-life fucking clown. You want fucking clout, so you beat up a guy that's fucking half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to fucking hurt you.
Have you spoke to anybody in the hospital, anybody close to Stu? How is he doing?
Yeah, I could zoom out and read it, but the gist of it was, you know, he remembers mostly what happened during the early parts of the day. He's talking a little bit. He's alert. He's still got some injuries that are very serious. Not like, you know, life-threatening serious, but like, you know, facial injuries, stuff like that.
Before y'all judge me any further, just please let me explain. Ready? That's a receipt. That's all the I told Raja to do. Now my life is ruined over your lie. I am not responsible for what another grown-ass man decides to do.
What do you think should happen next? What should happen to Raja?
It's difficult, you know, like vengeance isn't for me or anybody, it's for a higher power. But, you know, like I feel like he could help himself if he got some mental help.
Syko Stu's friend has finally given an update about his health after Raja Jackson's attempt to almost murder the pro wrestler. Syko Stu's family wants justice as Raja is still not behind bars and is living freely despite almost killing a man on the live stream. However, Syko Stu's friend Doug Malawas gave an update on his condition, saying Stu was doing a little better in the hospital, responsive and surrounded by family. Malawas explained that while he had not personally visited, some of Stu's closest friends who had known him for many years were by his side. He said he wanted to respect Stu's privacy and give his family the space they needed, choosing instead to stay in touch through updates from mutual friends like Maverick.
I saw an update on Stu. He looks like he's doing a little bit better in hospital. He seems like he's responsive and he's with his family. Have you had a chance at all to speak to him or anyone from his family today or the last couple of days to see what the updates are?
I've been trying to give him privacy for the most part. The thing is, so like I'm one of the less senior people there at Knox. Like if you talk about like, I've only been there like maybe 2.5 years, right? He's got friends that have been there for 20 plus years, you know, like even Rusev's known him so long, right? So they're the ones visiting. I called like my buddy Maverick, the real McKeel. We talked, he gave me an update, you know, and the best part about that is like he needs his rest and his space, and his family needs their rest and their space, and I don't want to be an extra person pushing in on time they could be spending with him.
Doug Malawas also lashes out at Raja Jackson, blasting him for what he calls a stupid mentality. He recalls trying to break things up in the ring when Raja suddenly shot for a sloppy double leg and then punched him in the eye, despite Malawas not even being hostile. He calls Raja a young loser and a low-life clown for attacking a half-conscious man and striking someone who was only trying to stop the fight, saying Jackson is lucky he was already exhausted from his earlier match.
When we're in the ring and I'm breaking it up and he shoots a fucking double leg on me, by the way, work a better fucking double leg, you fucking prick. And then I'm telling you to fucking calm down. I'm not even fucking fighting. I'm not even being fucking hostile. Then you're trying to fucking work and get lower, do this, change positions, and I'm over here having to swim with you, all this other shit. And then you fucking punch me in the fucking eye after we're breaking it up, you fucking loser. That's why you got fucking headbutt, and that's why I fucking punch you, and you're fucking lucky I was tired from the match before this. What kind of fucking person are you? You fucking low-life fucking clown. You want fucking clout, so you beat up a guy that's fucking half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to fucking hurt you.
Syko Stu's friend believes Raja Jackson would have killed Syko Stu if he hadn't stepped in. He says Raja clearly wanted to keep attacking and insists he would have done the same to him if he had managed to take him down. Malawas blasts Raja for being a bully, pointing out that instead of seeking therapy or help for his issues, he uses his father's name and training to hurt people who aren't prepared for that kind of violence.
The fuck is wrong with you?
So, do you think he wanted to continue beating up Stu?
I think he would have killed him.
If you didn't stop it, right?
I promise you he would have killed him. He would have killed me if he would have got the best of me. If he would have took my legs out from under me like he was trying to, he was going to do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Clearly, you watched the stream when he's walking away. I'm tired of people fucking with me. I don't care how many times you've been fucking in your life, bro. I don't give a fuck. If you got a fucking problem with the fucking world and the people around you, change your fucking people around you. Change it up a little bit. Go to therapy. Get some fucking help. Don't take it out on everybody else. And then you want to train by one of the best fighters to ever fucking live, your fucking father, use his fucking clout, use his fucking knowledge, and then you want to hurt people that don't fucking train like that? You're a fucking bully. You're a bitch.
Doug Malloy was also furious nobody stepped in to protect him and revealed that Stu suffered broken facial bones, lost multiple teeth, and even choked on his own blood after the attack. Malloy said Stu was already knocked out from the slam before Raja landed more strikes, leaving him badly injured and incoherent. As Stu's friend, he admitted he was shocked others just stood by instead of helping and apologized to Stu for being failed by people who claim to be his friends.
Yeah, so to get started with it, what actually happened to Stu? How bad are his injuries?
Broken facial bones is from what I'm hearing. Missing teeth. Has no recollection of what happened. Incoherent. And then even from the people closest to it now that I'm disassociating with, they won't even put up the full story. Stu's pretty fucked up, I'll put it this way. What happened yesterday is he choked on his own blood.
On his own teeth, I heard.
Yeah, teeth and blood.
And he lost all of his teeth, right?
A lot of them, yeah. Broken facial bones. He was out on the slam, and then the guy had made contact multiple times. I remember seeing that, kind of being in shock, and then I just went. Aside of that, running in, there was other people that could have got involved that I made eye contact with, but they just stayed by the stage. Let me put it this way. I'm sorry to Stu, that the people that said that they were your friends.
Doug Malloy reflected on being one of the only people who stepped in to protect Syko Stu, admitting he often thought about what could have happened if he wasn't there. He said he was grateful it was him who carried that burden, explaining that a younger teammate named Doom, only 17 years old, had also tried to help. Malloy stressed he would have been devastated if the teenager had gotten seriously hurt, saying the thought of that alone would have been unbearable.
You know, having this moment with his family, because I was reviewing the footage. And, you know, you were kind of like the only guy that stepped up and went in there and handled the situation. I mean, at least it shows you, right? Like, you intervening when you did, you know, it did so much. Like, in your head, do you ever think about, oh man, like, luckily I was there? Like, in your head, do you think, man, imagine if I wasn't? Because if you weren't there, you didn't intervene when you did, I'd hate to think what would have happened, right?
Yeah, I do think that, and I am grateful that it was me of all people. Not only to eat the burden, but also I think about with the kid Doom, the first one with the makeup that tried to pull him off.
Yeah,
he's 17. He's a baby, right? And I would have been so devastated if he had gotten hurt too. You know, I would have been inconsolable.
Doug Malloy explained what happened when he tried to pull Raja Jackson away from Syko Stu, saying his first thought was to avoid slamming Raja onto Stu's body. Instead, he tried to get under Raja's arm and drag him to the side. In that moment, Raja turned on him, shooting for a double leg takedown and trying to dump him on his head. Malloy revealed he ended up with stitches from the struggle and believed Raja was attempting to do to him exactly what he had just done to Stu.
I didn't really get to see exactly what happened, but I know you've got the bandages there. What happened, man? Like, did he let off a few shots on you? What happened in those exchanges between you two?
Yeah, and I got stitches right here. What happened was when I first came in there, my goal was to not tackle him onto Stu. I went in, I looked, I assessed, and I said, I have to pull him away from Stu. So that's why I went to the outside and got under an armpit and tried to throw him off to the side. And when I did that, you know, if you look at the video, you could see him shoot for a double leg on me and try to take me down. He was working the whole time to try to get an advantage, get my legs, dump me on my head so he could do the same thing to me that he did to Stu.
Meanwhile, Tim Welch reacts to the situation by saying that since Rampage Jackson's son has money, he will likely have strong legal support, but the case can still be treated as attempted murder. He warns about the dangers of street fights, explaining that once someone is already knocked out, continuing to strike them can easily become deadly and land a person in prison. Welch calls the attack disturbing and says that if the victim were his own father, he would be furious. He adds that while Syko Stu has regained consciousness, the overall outlook remains unfavorable.
Rampage's got money. I mean, they're going to have some good lawyers. But it might be attempted murder. I mean, God, that's the thing. You got to be careful getting in street fights. If you can avoid street fights, avoid them. especially if you got a temper tantrum. Maybe if you know a little jiu-jitsu and you get in a street fight here and there, it's okay. You can take care of yourself, get in a good position. But once you crack somebody and then you start seeing red and you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're punching them and they're already knocked out, good chance you're going to kill them. And now you might be in the pen. So, I mean, that was up. That was fucked up. If that guy was my dad or something, I would be fucking furious. So, hopefully this guy comes out of it all right. They said he came to, and it's not looking good.
Michael Chandler also reacts to the Raja Jackson incident and says Raja doesn't need punishment but guidance. He explains that Raja isn't a bad kid, just someone who made a bad choice. Chandler adds that once he takes Raja under his wing and gets him around wholesome kids like Hap and Ace, they can turn his life around. Michael Chandler said he doesn't need punishment, he needs guidance. He's not a bad kid, just made a bad choice. Once I adopt him and get him hanging out with wholesome kids like Hap and Ace, we're gonna turn his whole life around. On the other hand, before the incident took place, AJ Mana was seen encouraging Raja Jackson to go after Syko Stu rather than calming him down. Many fans believe this plays a major role in pushing Raja over the edge, directly fueling the violent attack. As a result, Mana is now facing heavy backlash, with people accusing him of sharing responsibility for what happened and making the situation worse instead of stepping in to prevent it.
Working like that, you know, I think that's a little. Oh! So, you don't remember what a receipt is. Give them that receipt, both tag it. If you got a problem with it, I'll run out there.
Doug Malwaz also believes that the attack was fueled by a mix of Raja Jackson's issues with his father and the influence of AJ Mana. He makes it clear he doesn't like Raja for what he did, but says AJ is even worse for gassing him up and pushing him into the situation. Malawaz explains that AJ used Raja to do his dirty work, knowing he had problems with the victim too, and calls it no coincidence. He adds that AJ himself never handled his own fights, often losing in small backyard scraps, and instead put pressure on Raja, who was trained by one of the greatest fighters to carry it out.
I think the culmination between his dad picking on him and all his daddy issues came out and all the shit AJ gassed up into his head, because let me put it this way. I don't like Raja. I think Raja's a shit person for what he did. But I think AJ's a bigger shit person for gassing him up to be in that fucking ring, to leading him to ruin his own fucking life, to hurt somebody that AJ also has a fucking problem with. You can't fucking tell me that's not, I don't believe in coincidence.
He was basically trying to put the blood on someone else's hands.
Exactly, because he's not going to do it himself. You know, the few little backyard fights he fucking got in where he got beat the fuck up, and then you got somebody that's a real fighter, trained by somebody that's one of the greatest of all time, and then you had him do your dirty work. He ruined two people's lives.
However, AJ Mana also shares his side of the story, insisting that people are twisting his words. He explains that all he told Raja to do was give a receipt and claims he never pushed him to go that far. Mana says his life is now being ruined over lies and stresses that he cannot be held responsible for the actions of another grown man.
Before y'all judge me any further, just please let me explain. Ready? That's a receipt. That's all the I told Raja to do. Now my life is ruined over your lie. I am not responsible for what another grown-ass man decides to do.
Meanwhile, Rampage Jackson addresses the controversy involving his son Raja and Syko Stu, revealing that he has been receiving death threats. He explains that many of the messages come from racist people accusing him of being a bad father and painting him as the puppet master behind the incident. Rampage calls the criticism unfair and insists that no matter what he says, people twist his words.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson? Anything to say about, and you know, first of all, really sorry. We're really sorry about the whole situation.
You know that. I wish I could.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if there was any updates.
All I can say is a lot of racist people give me death threats and stuff like that. Like, I'm a puppet master. Calling me a bad father. It's uncalled for.
That's uncalled for. None of this is your fault. It's a. You made your explanation.
Anything I say gets twisted anyway. So
yeah.
Go get the turkey.
No, I hear. Hey, prayers are with you and your family, man. Seriously.
Meanwhile, Rampage also admits that he feels bad for Syko Stu and makes it clear he does not support what his son has done. He explains that as a father, he still has to stand by his son, but stresses that the situation is now in the hands of the justice system.
You know, it's hard for me to talk about it, but you know, I'm just keeping 100. You know,
I feel bad about what happened to Syko Stu. You know, I don't condone what my son did at all. Very, very unfortunate. If I was there, things went down, but you know what I'm saying, I wasn't there. But you know what I'm saying, I'm a father, so you know, I gotta have my son's back, but I'm gonna let justice, you know, play out, take its course.
Rampage Jackson opens up about his son's struggles and reveals that Raja hasn't been the same since his mother was murdered. He admits that it has nothing to do with the current situation, but stresses that the tragedy changed Raja deeply. Rampage says he has tried to be there for him, cheering him up and making him laugh, but admits he isn't a psychiatrist and doesn't always know what to do. He explains that Raja has been distant and focused on acting more like a man, which has only made their relationship harder.
But this don't got nothing to do with nothing that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered. He hasn't, and I know that. And I've been trying to be there for him and, you know, make him laugh and cheer him up and everything. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what the fuck to do. And you know, I know my kids. He hasn't been the same with me. Like, he's just been distant from me. Like, he want to be more of a man and more of this. I don't know how to deal with this shit.
Myron Gaines also reacts to the incident and says he doesn't see how Raja Jackson avoids arrest after the brutal footage. He warns that Raja needs to get a good lawyer immediately, stay off camera, and stop speaking publicly about the situation, stressing that police are 100% going to make an arrest.
Yo, be honest with y'all, bro, I don't see how he doesn't go to jail. I like Rampage Jackson. You guys know I think Rampage is awesome. But after looking at that footage, bro, like, they need to get a lawyer. Like, me just being dead ass. Like, he needs to get a good lawyer right now and be prepared. They're 100% going to come in and arrest him for that. I don't know what they're going to charge him with, but slamming him with the way that he did and punching him that many times, he needs to find a lawyer. He needs to, I don't even know why they're still on camera talking about it, to be honest with y'all. He should stay off camera. They shouldn't talk about this shit ever again. And secure a lawyer and just sit tight. Because the police are absolutely coming. There's no way they're not going to make an arrest after that, bro. There's no way.
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about this incident in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.